So today I'm at the Gilbert Riparian Preserve, and I'm in their little pollinator garden over by the observatory, and I'm going to draw just sand here, basically. And I've just kind of gotten started, and it's always kind of a fun obstacle here to try and draw because there are so many photo shoots happening all the time. So you have to just kind of draw in between people. Okay, I'm losing the light, and it's dinner time, so I'm going to go home and finish this. I think I made some good progress here. It just needs, honestly, like more layers. So, yeah. Okay, I'm back home and I'm ready to continue working on this. I have a couple reference photos I took, and I'm just playing around. I am not an oil pastel expert. I'm still very much learning how these, how to work with these beyond like what I knew how to do when I was a kid, kind of. So this is all a bunch of experimentation, and I make no promises. And I also have these are nail tools, like silicone, like nail art tools that work really well as like silicone blending tools. So in case you're wondering, that's what those are. So here we go. All right, I'm calling this one done. That was fun. Oil pastels are a lot of fun to play with, I will say. So this is an observation dome that's at the park, and then I used an embroidery needle, so they're not sharp, to do the sgraffito effects, where you scratch into the paint. So yeah, and that worked great. So these flowers are really interesting because they stick up above the bushes like this, and I always find that really entertaining. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I'm still getting a good idea of like how thick to make the layers when I put them on and whatnot when I play with this. So that's been kind of interesting, but yeah, I think I like how that turned out. So today's a really cloudy day, and I'm by the canal. Bill's taking Lucky on a walk. And I have a faint hope that the sun might briefly poke through the clouds during sunset and create a pretty sunset. We're gonna see. I might just paint a sad looking canal with some clouds. So I brought some watercolor paper, and I brought the big palette today because my sunset colors aren't all in my little palettes. So right now while I'm sitting here, I'm just gonna try and get the rest of the scenery, and then I'll do the clouds last. Should be interesting. Okay, so I'm at the point now where I'm just kind of waiting around to see if there'll be any more sunset. There was like a little pop of something that I can at least use. Sometimes though, if you just sit here and wait, something will pop out. You never know. But this is what I have. So basically I'm just kind of biding my time because I need to glaze over this with whatever kind of color the sunset is finally going to be. So these are kind of like base colors basically. And the paper is like cold pressed paper. So you notice my lines are incredibly rough. Like I had to redraw what was on the, the power lines, but it's okay. I decided to just go with it and kind of make that the style for this. So I meant to do that, sure. So yeah, I'm packing up all my stuff, and I'm really just waiting around to take a final picture so that I can finish it at home. It is also getting chilly out here. See, look at this. That's what I was talking about. So I had dinner, and now I have time to work on this. So I've actually been thinking about turning this into like a block by putting glue on the sides. I've done that before because it does have a tendency to kind of curl a bit. So thinking about doing that. Maybe I will. I don't know. I'm actually tempted to pull this paper off and just staple it to a gator board right now so that I can like just focus on painting it and not worry about it like getting all willy-nilly. So I might do that. I'm thinking about it. So yeah, now that I'm back home, I'm going to use some of those reference photos I took of the sunset to make it look more like a sunset. And then I'm going to go in and kind of glaze over these colors to make them match what's actually happening in the colors in the picture with the lighting, you know. So yeah. Oh, and the other thing I was thinking, okay, so originally I was like, oh, I'm just going to use half this paper for one drawing and half for another. But like some of these sky pictures are really cool, so I may actually just like take up the whole paper. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. Okay, I decided to just like go hog wild in this one and have fun. I just like, I'm using the good paper, so I might as well go crazy with it, kind of a thing. Yeah, so I'm at a stopping point. I need to let this just dry and chill out for a while and kind of come back and look at it when it's fully dry to see if I want to go in with the pen and just add a couple details here and there, or like clarify a couple spots here and there. This is fun though. I'm having fun with it because it's fun to see like Bill and Lucky in there, and I like doing that sunset, and it's pretty neat actually. I kind of feel pleased that I was able to take this like ugly thing back here and make it look interesting, so that was cool. So yeah, I'm gonna go probably have a snack, maybe do like a little exercise bike, and then I'll come back and make some final judgments. Okay, I can already see somewhere I need to fix. So this is the only place, the entire painting, that I think I'm actually gonna use black watercolor, and it's on Lucky, because he truly is a very dark black sheen, and I think that not filling that in just looks kind of weird. There, I think that looks better. It's dried out and it's flattened out, so now I can go in with the pen and do a couple things. I'm gonna work on these ducks a little bit. I put color in them, but honestly I think they should probably just be just mostly black and white. And then I'm gonna add just a little line right here to distinguish where the canal starts and the berm ends, because that's just kind of hard to tell what you're looking at there. And there's another spot right here. I might try to clean it up just a hair. But other than that, I'd say it's done. I think I'm just gonna sign it after that and be finished. It looks better as it dries, so that's pretty exciting. I've really been trying to like work on the concept of getting enough color in there, because you have to, it's always going to dry lighter. And so figuring out how much you need when you're working on it is always kind of an interesting little game. I'm getting bolder about it. I'm trying to still leave that little white highlight. I actually left it kind of by accident, but it works. So. All right, I am calling this done. It's finished. So, I like it. For the most part, I am like very happy. The only spot I'm not thrilled with is this little duck. It's not enough contrast here. I've kind of hit that point where the paper's kind of overworked and I can't really do anything else, so I'm just gonna leave it alone. It is what it is. Part of my idea with this plein air challenge is to kind of just do a lot of stuff that's fun and not get so hung up on it being all perfect. Because I want to be able to get through a whole month of this without just like getting burned out and frustrated. So there it is. All right, we're at a different park today. And this one has a pond. I didn't even know it was here. So that's cool. It's cold though. The wind is just biting right through my sweatshirt and I'm just freezing. So I'm gonna do my best. I'm just gonna work really fast and probably run away when it gets too cold. I brought my water-soluble pastels, and so that's what I'm gonna do today. So it's gotten a little dark and it is just so cold. So this is how far I've gotten so far. Haven't added any water yet. I'm gonna go home and finish it. Now that I'm back home, I can finally explain what my little kit is here and everything. It was so cold out there. Oh my gosh. It was really chilly. So this is just a nice box that I had that I kind of kept for a while because I knew I would need it at some point. And then what I have in here, so this is the paper I was drawing on, and I just, it's Strathmore 500 mixed media paper, and I stapled it to just a board. And this is from that giant roll of it that I have actually. And then this is actually these are my swatches. So I made swatches of all the pastels and then I stapled them to a board as well, so that I can just have them, and when I'm out in the wind and stuff, it's a little easier to work with. And then these are my pastels, and what I would do in here, I actually just stuck them side by side like that, and it worked really well. So then I was able to just use them from in there, and I didn't have to worry about like dropping them on the ground or anything like that. Just flip it around the right way. There we go. And I had them in order of my swatches. So then I would do that, and then I would put my swatches like this. You can kind of see it here. Yeah. So, and then I just had my little board, and I could hold that wherever I wanted. And then I brought gloves so that I could wear those and not get my hands all dirty. And then what I also brought, so in another bag, I also brought a bunch of water brushes that were already full. So that way I was ready to go. I didn't get to use the water brushes while I was out there though. It was like so cold. I just had to be done. So I found with these water soluble pastels, you do usually have to do multiple layers to kind of get the texture and everything you're looking for. But I do really like the texture that they have on this paper. And I tested them on a bunch of different papers and they just didn't have the color saturation on like the cellulose paper. It really made a difference to use the 100% cotton paper. So that's why I'm using this particular paper. The right texture and the right saturation. And it takes the water just fine. I mean, it's not very thick paper, but it works just fine. So yeah, I'm gonna try and finish this up. I don't think this one is gonna take very long unless I decide to do something extra with it. Okay, so I'm finished. That took longer than I expected. It always kind of does with these though. So, I mean, like things like pastels and colored pencils just require a lot of layers to look good. Otherwise they look like washed out and weird. So this was interesting, kind of trying to figure out how many layers I could actually cram on this paper. And it's a decent amount actually. It's not super rough, but it will definitely take more than you would think. So yeah, that was fun. It's still one that, like, if I had to go out there and do the whole thing sitting there, I would be there for a while, I think. So as you can see, it is cloudy and dreary and cold, and it's been raining all morning. So I'm gonna draw from my car. And I'm actually at a spot over by Talking Stick Resort. And I just thought the clouds looked really cool, and there was some interesting vegetation around here, and the big golf place is kind of interesting, might be kind of cool to draw. So I'm gonna do mostly a pen drawing with just a little bit of watercolor, I think. So it's gonna be kind of almost black and white with like maybe a couple pops of color might be the way I do it. So yeah. Okay, I've got the sketch here. And now I'm going to do some watercolor. And I'm glad I took a lot of pictures, and I'm glad I did because the cool clouds have kind of gone away. So I may actually do the watercolor part at home. I don't know. I'll see. Yeah, I may do that part at home just because, like, there's nothing to really look at anymore. It's kind of gone, you know what I'm saying? So. I'm calling this one done. I thought I might add some pops of color, but they just didn't really call for it anywhere. Yeah, that was interesting. This paper, you know, probably would have been a little bit better on like an actual hot press paper, I think, because while I like the texture of this paper, you know, whenever I start to do a lot of watercolor on it, it definitely does get like wrinkly. So, yeah, you know. But I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do. If I had known this, I was going to do it the way I did it this time, I probably would have used different paper. I like it. I think it kind of fits the moodiness. I had fun doing the clouds. Those were interesting for sure. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm still trying to decide. We shall see.